Hello, I'm Jeff Fuller. I'm coming at you today from Haymarket, Virginia, and I have a story that I'm going to read from Race to the Bottom. Race to the Bottom by Luke Rosiak. I was so impressed with this book that I decided I would take clips from it or measures from it, passages, and put them out in clips on YouTube so that parents who don't have time to be messing around with this stuff can at least get a glimpse into the research that he's done on the education system in America. A lot of this applies to Northern Virginia, Fairfax, Loudoun County in particular. Now, I live in Haymarket, which is part of Prince William County, and Prince William County is trying as hard as it can to catch up with the big boys in terms of critical social justice and all of the different aspects that implies. Restorative justice, queer theory, social emotional learning, which is like a nightmare combination of Marxism with Freud, if you can imagine. So, but I'm not getting into the details of that. I want to relate this story, and I'm going to start off with a short part, and then I'll have other clips as we go, and I'll make these available on YouTube on a channel specifically dedicated to this. I will include a link to the book. I want you to understand I'm not trying to steal Luke Rosiak's thunder. I'm trying to emphasize the value that he's added to this debate. So, why am I involved in this? You might ask. I'm a 75-year-old man. I'm retired Army Special Forces. I've got 3 kids and 5 grandkids. The grandkids are scattered all over the country, and they range from 6 to 19 years old. But I care about their future. I care about the future of our country. I want to leave a country that enshrines the values that our founders gave us and improves on that over time. But that's not what the critical social justice warriors want. But that's another matter. I just want to tell you the story that Luke Rosiak is telling me. Race to the Bottom is a book about what happens when schools start putting their resources into everything except preparing our children for college or careers. One side effect of COVID-19, as the illness caused by the coronavirus is known, was to remind Americans just how central K through 12 schools are to our lives. For years, we debated everything else, the president, colleges, foreign wars. But the one thing we might realistically have had some influence over that operates in our backyards and has shared custody of our most precious assets, our children, it was more or less on autopilot. Another side effect was realizing what a mistake this was. As much as parents might respect the people who ran the schools, they did not seem to return the favor. It turned out that K through 12 schools were at times not benevolent pillars of the community, but deceptive and money-driven entities captured by national politics and special interests. Throughout the stories in this book, I want to explore 2 ideas. The first is that racial politics are more than a controversial topic. They can be used as a tool to win administrative battles, distract angry parents, even cover up inequality. We consistently get these kinds of conflicts wrong. We look too hard at the controversial ideas without asking, what do the powerful have to gain? We misread their decisions. We misinterpret who they are benefiting. Sometimes well-meaning educators want to make things fairer. More often, the well-meaning become weapons in the political and bureaucratic battles. Parents discovered that the education industry's unyielding primary mission is its own preservation. Fairfax's superintendent, Scott Brabrand, issued a memo, this is early in the COVID days, assuring all staff that they would receive full pay, even if no work needed to be done. To justify the continued employment of bus drivers, he ordered Fairfax's fleet of school buses, which is larger than the fleet of Greyhound, to make their rounds twice a week with no children on board, driving through the quiet neighborhoods and producing a ghostly sight that haunted children as they peered out their living room windows. Bus operations alone cost the district some $167 million in fiscal year 2020, which is 5.6% of their budget. By October 2020, thousands of Fairfax teachers had submitted Americans with Disabilities Act requests, claiming they had developed disabilities that legally entitled them to accommodations. As early as 2021, less than 1% of the requests had been denied. A few months earlier, when high school seniors needed to take the SAT, where by definition there would be almost no movement or contact, the union coached teachers on how to mislead their superiors. Quote, "If you are physically ill at the prospect of this work, you must let your administrator know that you are sick and cannot help." Quote. So that's my introduction. I will have similar length snippets for you as we go. Some of the stories are amazing. But I ask you to think about this if you can. Buy the book and study it. And I'll see you again shortly with the next segment. Thank you so much.